Welcome to my rose tour, but before we start I want to show you what happened to these two white climbers. 1 year ago in June I was standing right here and wondering whether these two will ever reach the top of the trellis. And just a few months later I started to have completely different problems. This picture, for example, is from a few weeks ago when the tulips were still in bloom. It survived, I fixed it, it's mostly standing and the roses look better than ever. I planted these two 2 years ago next to a different trellis and they were not really growing there, so I moved them here last spring next to this trellis, and in June, after the first wave of blooms, they started to grow like crazy and they covered the entire trellis by August. And actually that was the moment when the problem started. The roses grew so much and we had such hard winds, the trellis just couldn't handle it and it broke in like 8 different places, and I repaired it and it looks really ugly, but at least it works and it holds it together until I find a more permanent solution. I wanted to show you the exact name of the variety and I found the tags and they only say white climber, and that can mean two things. Either this is the real white climber variety and that is really difficult to confirm, or the nursery just didn't want to bother with the research and they just simply put white climber on the tags. But in any case, this is a really vigorous variety. It conquered the trellis in just one season almost twice, and it has really beautiful white flowers with a yellow center, and the buds are yellow. I almost forgot to mention that these also have a really strong and really beautiful smell, so I love to bring out a chair here in the morning and drink my coffee here, and I also have a really beautiful view of the garden from this angle. So unless you want an infinite source of frustration for the entire growing season, do not install weak structures in windy spaces. Make sure to learn from my mistakes, you guys. This is not the first or the only time when the trellis was on the ground like this horizontally. It is a horrible sight. Every time I saw this, I was really frustrated and really sad. I waited 2 weeks and delayed posting this video because I wanted to show you my favorite roses in the garden in full bloom. This is the Gönewein variety, I hope I pronounced that correctly. It is a German Floribunda rose and they are almost in full bloom. I planted 6 of these, 3 in this flower bed here and 3 in the other one on the other side of the pathway, mirroring each other. These two were partially dug up in May this year by gophers or moles or whatever rodents are destroying my flower beds, and that damaged their roots, so that was a setback for them. And as you can see, these bushes are a lot smaller than this big one here. I think these are the most beautiful rose flowers on planet Earth, honestly. I think these are so elegant and have a soft color. I have to plant more of these. I have a white climber on the other trellis with similar flowers. I will show it to you in a minute. Those are gorgeous too. You can see here all the phases in one bunch. These start out as elegant deep pink buds and they turn to a slightly lighter pink when they are open, and they have these beautiful double flowers. And they turn lighter and lighter until almost white when the petals fall. Just look at these beautiful double flowers, you guys. I can't get enough of these. So this is the white climber I mentioned before that looks like my favorite pink one in the other flower bed. And this one also has these beautiful double flowers. The buds are also white. I think these are amazing. These two white climbers unfortunately don't really do well here. This one, for example, started over from the bottom and all the top side is dead and dried out. I will have to cut it back. And on the other side of the trellis, this one is doing a little bit better. It also has its top side and the flowers are beautiful. I hope they will conquer this trellis though. I planted another set of climbers on the other side of the same trellis, and these are pink climbers. This is the first year, so these are only the first flowers, but they're really beautiful. I think the trellis is big enough for 2 sets of climbers. This is a really huge trellis. I planted one more of these beautiful pink climbers next to the fence here, next to other climbers, and I think it looks really beautiful here. I don't know the name of the variety. I will have to find it and put it on the screen for you. I don't really recommend this variety, you guys, honestly, because the flowers just don't last. They all look like this after a day or two, and it's a pity because these are really beautiful flowers. So as you can see on the top of the strawberry plants, it is full of petals right now. And that's it for this plant. These are the last flowers, and that's it. This is another beautiful white climber. I showed you this in my last tour, and since then all the blooms are fully open and they are huge and smell incredible. This is not a perfect spot for a rose because it receives only afternoon sun after like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's not enough for a rose, but it tries to reach the sky and receive more sun, and I don't tie it to the trellis, I just let it grow. So the next one should be the fairy roses. I have the pink fairies here. These are not yet open. We have a few flowers here and there, but I will show you these in the next video. The Lupinus plants don't look as good as last year. I moved all of them to different flower beds. They take up so much space, I had to move all of them. And some of them were moved at the end of the season, and some of them at the beginning of this season, so they started to flower at different times. For example, this one, as you can see, already started to form the seed pods. The flowers are gone, mostly. And most of them are still in full bloom. I still want to show you a few of them because I think they look spectacular this year. For example, this one. This is the most beautiful Lupinus color I have. When the flowers are done, I will have to make sure to deadhead these, because these seed pods are full of seeds and they spread everywhere in the garden. So look at this, under the delphinium, a Lupinus seedling or two. Next to my boxwoods, another Lupinus seedlings, another small one here, another one here. The entire garden is full of Lupinus seedlings, so I will have to make sure I stay on top of the deadheading game this year. I don't want so many plants, you guys. This one, for example, grew out of the pathway directly, and I postponed moving it because we had a really dry spring, but it is a really beautiful plant. I will move it when it's done blooming. It is definitely a seedling, but I don't remember having this color last year in the garden. This is another one I don't remember having in the garden last year. It was one of the first seedlings that came up this year, so I moved it here next to the boxwood hedge. And it is a really beautiful color combination. This is another new variety, if I can say that. It's another one growing in the pathway. But look at this. I never seen this before, these stripes on the petals. This is amazing. Before finishing this tour, I wanted to show you the spontaneous cottage garden that formed around the roses here. I planted a few seedlings here and there. I planted delphiniums, lupinus, a few alliums there, and it looks really beautiful. I will have to move this so the roses have more space to grow, but other than that, I can't complain, you guys. Just one more thing, look at how beautiful the clematis and the lavender look together in this flower bed. I have two varieties blooming here. This lighter one is called Justa, and the other one, the deep purple in the back, is called Multi Blue. And I also have a beautiful multi pink here, ready to bloom. Make sure to leave a comment with your favorite rose type. Thank you a lot for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.